All right, let's get real for a second. You're stuck. You've got big dreams, goals that keep you up at night, a vision of the life you know you're capable of living, but for some reason you just can't seem to make it happen. You start strong, you get motivated, but then life gets in the way. Fear creeps in. Self-doubt whispers, "Who do you think you are?" And before you know it, you're right back where you started. Sound familiar? Well, I've got good news for you. There's a simple, science-backed hack that can break this cycle for good. And no, it's not some complicated routine or another productivity trick you'll forget about tomorrow. This is about rewiring your brain, flipping the switch that takes you from hesitation to action instantly. It's the difference between staying stuck in your excuses and finally doing what you know you need to do. Once you understand this, your life will never be the same. You'll stop overthinking, stop procrastinating, and start moving toward the life you actually want. So if you're tired of waiting for motivation to show up, buckle up, because this is going to change everything. The reason you feel stuck isn't because you lack motivation. It's not because you're lazy or incapable or that you don't have what it takes. It's because your brain is designed to keep you safe, not to make you successful. Let me explain. Your brain has one job: to protect you, to keep you alive. It's wired for survival, not for chasing big dreams. And anything that feels uncomfortable, uncertain, or risky, your brain categorizes it as dangerous, even if it's something that could completely transform your life. That's why you talk yourself out of things. That's why you hesitate before sending that email, before speaking up in a meeting, before stepping into the gym, before starting that project you've been thinking about for years. Your brain senses discomfort and it slams the brakes. But here's the problem. Growth, success, change, all of it happens outside your comfort zone. And if you keep waiting to feel ready, to feel confident, to have the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. So how do you beat your brain at its own game? How do you shut down the overthinking, the hesitation, the fear that's holding you back? You need to take control in the smallest possible way, not with some massive life overhaul, but with a simple, science-backed trick that shifts your mindset in seconds. And it all starts with a single decision, a tiny moment where you choose to act before your brain talks you out of it. Because let me tell you something, the gap between the life you have and the life you want, it's not as big as you think. It's not about luck. It's not about talent. It's about mastering the smallest moment of hesitation. Every time you hesitate, you give your brain the chance to stop you. You allow fear to creep in. And that hesitation, that's the difference between taking action and staying stuck. But the good news, you can interrupt it. You can override that hesitation. And once you do that, once you learn how to move before your brain slams the brakes, everything changes. Because here's the truth. Success isn't built on motivation, it's built on action. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you have it, some days you don't. And if you're only moving when you feel like it, you'll never get where you want to go. The most successful people in the world, they don't wait for motivation, they don't wait to feel confident, they don't wait until they want to do something. They take action first. They understand that confidence isn't something you have, it's something you earn. And you earn it by pushing through discomfort, by proving to yourself in small ways that you can do the thing you've been avoiding. And this is where the brain hack comes in. It's so simple that most people ignore it. They think that can't possibly work. That's too easy. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. Because your brain loves to complicate things. It loves to convince you that change is hard, that it requires some massive, life-altering shift. But the reality? Change happens in micro moments, in split-second decisions. And this brain hack, It's designed to help you win those moments. It's about understanding that your brain will always try to stop you and using a simple tool to override it. It's backed by research in neuroscience. It's been tested by psychologists. It's helped millions of people take control of their lives. And the best part, you don't need willpower. You don't need motivation. You just need a moment of courage. A split-second decision to move before your brain talks you out of it. Because action creates motivation, not the other way around. You don't feel like working out? Move anyway. You don't feel like making that call? Dial the number anyway. You don't feel ready to start? Start anyway. You're never going to feel ready. That's a lie your brain tells you to keep you stuck, and the longer you wait, the harder it gets. But the second you take action before hesitation creeps in, you build momentum, you build confidence, you prove to yourself that you can do the things that scare you. And when you start showing up in those small moments, something incredible happens. You stop waiting. You stop doubting yourself. You start moving. Not because you feel ready, but because you decide to. And when you do that, when you master that tiny, crucial moment of hesitation, you unlock a level of control over your life that most people never experience. Because you are not your thoughts, you are not your excuses, you are your actions. And once you learn how to take control in the smallest possible way, everything else falls into place. Now, let's break this down even further, because once you see how simple this is, you'll never be able to unsee it. You'll start recognizing the exact moments where you're holding yourself back, and more importantly, you'll know exactly how to override them. Picture this. You wake up in the morning and your alarm goes off. Immediately, your brain starts negotiating with you. I'm too tired. Just 5 more minutes. I'll get up soon. That's hesitation. That's the micro moment where your brain is taking control. And if you let it, you'll hit snooze. You'll stay in bed. You'll start the day on defense instead of offense. Now, imagine a different scenario. Your alarm goes off, and instead of hesitating, instead of letting your brain pull you back into comfort, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You move. No thinking, no debating, no giving your brain a chance to stop you. That's the hack. That's how you interrupt hesitation before it turns into inaction. It's not about motivation. It's about physics. Newton's first law says an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. You are that object. And the moment you take control, just for a second, you create momentum that carries you forward. Let's go deeper. Think about all the times in your life when hesitation has robbed you of an opportunity. That time you wanted to speak up in a meeting but stayed quiet. That time you wanted to ask for something you deserved but talked yourself out of it. That time you had an idea, a brilliant idea, but fear whispered, "What if it doesn't work?" And you never acted on it. Those tiny moments add up. They shape your reality. They determine whether you move forward or stay exactly where you are. And here's what's crazy. Hesitation only lasts for a few seconds. If you let it sit, if you give it space, it grows. It turns into overthinking, and overthinking turns into inaction. But if you act before hesitation takes hold, you break the cycle. That's what the world's top performers understand. The people you admire, the ones who seem fearless, they feel the same hesitation you do. They just don't give it time to stop them. Because the truth is, confidence isn't a feeling, it's a habit. People think confident people wake up every day feeling ready, feeling fearless. They don't. They just trust themselves to take action despite the fear. They've trained themselves to move instead of overthink. And the best part? You can train yourself to do the exact same thing. Let's talk about fear for a second, because fear is the number one thing keeping you stuck. And I'm not talking about real fear, the kind that keeps you from stepping in front of a moving car. I'm talking about self-created fear. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of looking stupid. That kind of fear, it's not real. It's a story your brain creates to keep you from taking risks. And if you let it, it will control you for the rest of your life. But here's what's fascinating. Your body reacts to fear and excitement the exact same way. Increased heart rate, sweaty palms, a rush of adrenaline. The only difference is what your brain calls it. If you tell yourself, I'm nervous, your brain believes it. But if you tell yourself, I'm excited, your brain believes that instead. So the next time fear tries to stop you, reframe it. Instead of saying, I'm scared, say, I'm excited. Because what if, instead of assuming the worst, you started assuming the best? What if, instead of worrying about failure, you focused on what could go right? What if, instead of hesitating, you just moved? Because the moment you act, the fear loses its power. And listen, I know this sounds simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. You've spent years, maybe even decades, hesitating, overthinking, talking yourself out of things. And that habit isn't going to disappear overnight. But you don't need to change everything at once. You just need to one decision at a time, one moment of courage at a time, one action before hesitation takes hold. And every time you do it, you're proving to yourself that you can. Because confidence isn't built in a day, it's built in decisions. The decision to get out of bed when you said you would. The decision to start that workout even when you don't feel like it. The decision to speak up when your brain tells you to stay silent. Every single time you push through, you're strengthening a new habit, a habit of trusting yourself. And once you trust yourself, once you know that hesitation doesn't control you anymore, you become unstoppable. But here's the thing, you have to do the work. I can stand here and tell you all of this. I can tell you about the science, the research, the psychology behind it, but knowing isn't enough. Understanding isn't enough. You have to take action. Because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to do this for you. If you want change, if you want to break out of the cycle you've been stuck in, you have to be the one to move first. And the good news? You already have everything you need. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to wait for the right moment. The right moment is now. Because every second you hesitate, that's another second lost. And the life you want, the success, the confidence, the opportunities, they're not waiting for you to feel ready. They're waiting for you to act. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you'd start tomorrow, that you'd make the change next week, that you'd take action when you feel ready? How many times have you had a great idea, felt that spark of excitement, and then let it fade because you hesitated? How many moments have you let slip by waiting for the right time, only to realize that the perfect moment never came? That hesitation, that's the habit we're breaking today. Because success isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's about action. Not just any action, immediate action. The kind that happens before your brain has a chance to talk you out of it. And here's the truth, the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Every time you hesitate, every time you delay, you're reinforcing the habit of inaction. You're strengthening the muscle of waiting instead of doing. But the second you act, before hesitation takes hold, you start strengthening a new habit, a habit of movement, a habit of trust, a habit of becoming the kind of person who doesn't wait, doesn't overthink, doesn't let fear win. And once you master that, everything changes. Let's talk about what this looks like in real life. You're sitting at your desk and you know you should start working on that project, but you don't. You tell yourself, I'll do it later. That's hesitation. That's the exact moment where you need to step in. Instead of thinking, instead of waiting, instead of giving yourself a way out, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you start. Not perfectly, not with every answer figured out, but you start moving, because once you start, it's easier to keep going. Or maybe it's something bigger. Maybe you've been putting off a tough conversation. Maybe there's a change you know you need to make, but haven't had the courage to take that first step. That hesitation, it's costing you. Because here's something most people don't realize. The thing you're avoiding, the thing you're scared to do, the thing you've been putting off for weeks, months, maybe even years, that's probably exactly what you need to do next. The fear, the resistance, the doubt, that's a sign you're on the right path. Because the things that scare you, the things that challenge you, the things that push you outside your comfort zone, that's where your growth is. So instead of running from fear, instead of avoiding discomfort, what if you leaned into it? What if, instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, you started seeing it as a green light? Because here's the thing, if something makes you nervous, it means it matters. That dream you have, it matters. That goal you're chasing, it matters. That change you want to make, it matters. And hesitation is the only thing standing in your way. But the second you act, the second you push through, the second you take that step before your brain can talk you out of it, you take your power back. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Because confidence isn't built in one big moment. It's built in small moments. In the decision to show up, in the decision to take the first step, in the decision to stop letting hesitation control you. And once you realize you can do it, once you start proving to yourself that you are capable, that you are stronger than fear, that you do have what it takes, you'll never go back. Because hesitation, it's a habit. But so is action. And you get to choose which one you strengthen. Every single day, every single moment. The question is, which habit are you going to build? Which version of yourself are you going to choose? Because the life you want, the person you want to become, it's not waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to act. So here's the truth. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You don't need permission. You already have everything you need to start right now. Because the difference between the life you have and the life you want, it's not some massive leap. It's not about luck or talent or waiting for the stars to align. It's about one small decision at a time. It's about learning to move before hesitation stops you. The next time fear creeps in, the next time doubt whispers in your ear, the next time you catch yourself hesitating, you'll know exactly what to do. Count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Send the email, speak up, take the first step. Because once you start taking action in these small moments, you'll realize something powerful. You've always had the ability to change your life. You just needed to stop waiting and start moving. The only thing standing between you and the future you want is hesitation. And now you know how to beat it?